Hi guys, this is Satyak from Debugging.com, and in this video, we'll show you how to root your phone running the latest Android 16 build via Magisk Boot and the init Boot.img file. So please take a backup of all the data on your phone and then let's get started. First off, you might already be aware of the various benefits of rooting. For example, you could flash Magisk module, themes, expose framework via lspost, the Android mod, audio mod such as the Viper for Android, and even you could flash a custom kernel and increase or decrease or overclock or underclock the CPU and GPU. But on the flip side, there are a few drawbacks as well. For example, the play integrity test will fail, and as a result of which you will not be able to use banking and payment app. Though you could pass the play integrity and all the three tests, device, basic and strong, but Google keeps on revoking those keybox XML file. But still, I found a method using which you could easily pass the test. Apart from that, the Wide1 L1 certification will get downgraded to L3, and you might not be able to watch DRM content such as Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime in full HD. Although there is a fix for that as well. So with that said, if that's all well and good, then let's get started. First and foremost, you will have to get hold of Android SDK platform tools. So get it from my guide and extract them onto your PC. You may extract them anywhere you want. In my case, I've done the extraction in C drive, and these are the files of platform tools. Once you've done the extraction, you will now have to enable USB debugging and OEM unlocking. Debugging is required for ADB command, whereas OEM unlocking is required to unlock the bootloader on your phone. So let's now enable both this toggle. For that, you have to go to the settings menu, then go to about phone and tap on build number 7 times. You will get a prompt that you are now a developer. So now go to system, developer options, and you have to enable the toggle next to OEM unlocking as well as USB debugging. Then tap on OK, and with this, debugging is now enabled. You might get a prompt, tap on allow. Let's now verify the debugging connection. So go to the address bar of platform tools, copy the path of platform tools, then open CMD window, type in CD in the CMD window for chain directory, then paste the path, and with this you are inside the platform tools directory. Now you have to type in ADB devices and verify that you're getting an ID. If you're not getting any ID, then unplug and replug your phone from the PC, disable and re-enable USB debugging, use the official USB cable that came with your phone, use the USB 2.0 port on your PC, and tap on revoke USB debugging. So carry out this USB fixes and verify that you're getting an ID. Once you're getting this ID, your next course of action is to unlock the bootloader on your phone. Do note that unlocking will wipe off all the data, and it might make the voluntary null and void as well. If that's well and good, in most cases, you just have to boot your phone to Fastboot mode and then use the Fastboot flashing unlock command. You will get a prompt on your phone. Use the volume key to highlight unlock the bootloader and press the power key to confirm. With this, the bootloader will be unlocked. And in case of Xiaomi, you will have to use the Me Unlock tool to get this job done. We have made a separate guide and a video on the same. You could refer to all these guides which correspond to your phone. In case of Samsung, it's a different method via the download mode. In Realme, you have to use the in-depth test APK. In case of Xiaomi, it's the Me Unlock tool. And in case of Pixel Motorola phones, you have to use the Fastboot command, and Nothing phone as well, you just have to use the Fastboot command. Anyways, moving on. Once that is done, you will now have to get hold of the stock boot or the init boot file. So if your phone came with Android 12 or older version, you have to use the stock boot file for rooting. On the other hand, if it came with Android 13 or higher version, you have to use the initboot.img file for rooting. But with that said, there are a few exceptions to this rule. For example, both the Poco F5 and Nothing Phone 2 came with Android 13, but they still use the boot.img file. So keep this point in mind. As of now, I am only aware of both these phones which are exception to this rule. But apart from that, all the other phones, if they came with Android 12 or older, they have to use the boot.img. And if they came with Android 13 or higher, they have to use the initboot file for rooting. So in my case, although we are rooting the Android 16 build, but my phone came with Android 12. I'm using a Pixel 6a. So I'll use the boot.img file for rooting. But with that said, I'll still show you how to root a phone using the initboot as well. So we'll show you both of these methods. So let's get started. First and foremost, get hold of the stock firmware, the factory image or the Fastboot ROM which correspond to the build number on your phone. You may verify the build number from the about phone section. So let me show you. Just a minute. So this is the build number. In my case, BP21 24 10 18 009. So download the same firmware which correspond to the build number, as you could see. So let me show you that I already have the firmware. This is BP21 24 10 18 009. So this is for the Pixel phone. the pixel firmware are in a zip format, you could directly extract them via right clicking on it and choosing extract all. But in case of Xiaomi, you will have to use the 7-zip to extract the .tgz, then again use the 7-zip to extract the .tar file, and then you will get a folder something like this. So go inside that folder, again go to the folder and go to the images tab, and from here you may get hold of the boot or the init boot file corresponding to your phone from here. Then in case of OnePlus phone, the firmware is in a payload bin file, so you will have to go to the download the Fastboot enhanced tool. I have made a separate guide and the video on the same. You could refer to the guide and get hold of the payload bin file as well from here. And once you have got the payload bin file from the stock firmware, download the Fastboot enhanced tool and then launch it. After that, go to the payload dumper tab, click on browse, select the bin file, click on open, go to the partition tab and then choose the boot or the init boot file, click on allow incremental extract image, choose the location and click on OK, and then you will get the required file for rooting. So as of now, in my case, I have told you before, my phone came with Android 12, so I'll be using the Boot.img file for rooting, but I'll also show you the init boot method for rooting as well. So this is the current firmware which is there on my phone. So once you have got the stock boot or the init boot file, let me copy the Boot.img file from here first. And once you have got the boot or the init boot file, you will have to transfer the file onto your phone as well. So for that, let's enable USB file transfer from here, and then we may transfer the file. So transfer the file over here as well. It should take just a few seconds. So at the same time, I'll also show you how to patch and root via the init boot file as well. So let's carry out both the tasks at the same time so that it will be easier to deal with the job. So let me show you how that could be done. So if your phone came with Android 13 or higher, so in that case, we have to use the init boot file. So in that case, let me show you how you could do that as well. So just give me a second, it should be somewhat here itself. So I'm using a OnePlus phone for the init boot version, and it should be here. So this is the init boot. So copy the file, the boot or the init boot file, and then transfer the file inside on your phone. Likewise, you will also have to get hold of the Magisk APK file. You may refer to a guide and then get the job done. So download the latest Magisk APK file from here. At the time of recording, the latest build is version 27. So you may download the Magisk one from my guide. I have given the latest APK file from the official GitHub source only. So transfer the APK file onto your phone. So as of now, you should have both the Magisk APK as well as the boot or the init boot file on your phone. Once you have the file, let's now patch it. So go to the file manager app of your choice, then allow, got it, then internal storage, and first off, let's install the Magisk app. Enable install from unknown sources, tap on install, and the app will be installed in a few seconds. So let's just wait, and Magisk is now installed. Tap on allow, then tap on install next to Magisk. As of now, I'll show you how to patch both the files. The steps to flash the patch, the boot and the init boot file are the same. Simply tap on install next to Magisk, select and patch a file. Now choose the boot or the init boot file for rooting. So let me choose the Boot.img file, then tap on let's go. And it will now patch the Boot.img file and is placed there inside the downloads folder on your phone. So let me show you, this is the patch boot file. Let's transfer it inside the platform tools directory, and it will take just a few seconds. So let's do so. And with this, we have got the Magisk patch boot file. So let me rename it to Magisk patch boot. Likewise, if you want to patch the init boot file, then tap on install next to Magisk, select and patch a file, choose the init boot file, tap on let's go, and it will now patch the init boot file. As you could see, it has patched the file as well, and the file is again there inside the downloads folder, and the name of the file is axf1. This is the Magisk patch init boot file. Let's transfer this file as well and rename it to Magisk patch init boot mpib.img. So with this, we have got the file as well. Do keep in mind that you only need to have either the boot file or the init boot file depending on the OS version. I am using both the file because I want to show both the steps, but it's obviously that you will only have to use either of the two file depending on your phone OS. So with that said, once you have got the patch file, you now have to flash the file via fastboot command. So boot your phone to the fastboot mode. For that, type in adb reboot bootloader and hit enter, and your phone will now reboot into fastboot mode in a few seconds. So let's just wait for that to happen, and then we will proceed ahead with the next step. Now you will have to verify the fastboot connection as well. So for that, type in fastboot devices and verify that you are getting an ID. If you're not getting any ID, then you will have to install fastboot drivers on your PC. We have made a separate guide and a video on the same. You could refer to a guide and then install the drivers. Once that is done, right click on the start menu and select device manager. Then expand the Android phone section and verify that the phone is being shown here as Android bootloader interface. So this, as well as the serial ID next to fastboot, signify that the PC is able to read the phone in fastboot mode, and we are now good to go ahead. Now comes the most important part. So if your phone came with Android 12 or older version, you will now have to use the patch Boot.img file for rooting. On the other hand, if your phone came with the Android 13 or higher build, you will have to use the inetboot file for rooting, as I've told you before. The only two exceptions being the Poco F5 and the Nothing Phone 2, which still uses the Boot.img file. So first off, I will discuss about the Magisk patch Boot.img file, and then we will have a discussion about the inetboot file. So in case of Boot.img file, you have an advantage that you could first temporarily boot your phone to the OS using the fastboot boot command, and if everything is working well and good, you could then do a permanent root via the direct install option of Magisk. But first, let's do a temporarily flashing of the Magisk patch file. This is a major advantage with the boot file. So type in fastboot boot and the Magisk patch boot file, which in our case is Magisk patch. Let me verify the file name. So in our case, the file name is Magisk patch boot.mpb.img, and hit enter. So if the patch file is working well and good, then your phone will automatically boot to the OS. On the other hand, if there's something wrong, then your phone will again try to boot to the OS, and this time around the patch boot will be replaced by the stock boot, and you will not face any issue whatsoever. This is a major advantage with the boot file, that you could temporarily boot your file to the Magisk patch image. So as of now, our phone will boot to the OS. It has obtained root, but the rooting is just for the one-time usage. The rooting is not permanent. To make it permanent, you will have to now launch the Magisk app. And first, you will have to tap on install next to Magisk, select direct install, tap on let's go, and this will now make the root permanent. Once that is done, tap on reboot, and now you have obtained permanent root. So this is the biggest advantage of the boot file. In case of boot file, you could do a temporarily boot. If everything is working well and good, your phone will boot to the OS. You may then do the direct install to obtain permanent root. But if there's something wrong, then a subsequent reboot will automatically replace the patch boot with the stock boot, and your phone will boot to the OS without an issue whatsoever. So with that said, we have now done the direct install. I have given all the steps and the screenshot in the guide as well. And now let's launch the Magisk app. And you might get one more prompt in the form of additional setup. If that happens, then just tap on OK. And as of now, we have obtained root, as you could see. So let's now verify the root as well. For that, you could use the root checker app, and I'll show you that. It will take just a few seconds. So let's change it to file transfer, and let me now transfer the files. I'll use two apps to verify it, the Termux app and the root checker app. So this is the root checker app. Let's transfer the files onto my phone and install it as well. It should take just a few more seconds. So let's first install the root checker app onto our phone. Hit the install button, and the app is now installed. Let's open it. Tap on allow, agree, get started. Tap on verify root, and you will now get a Magisk prompt. As you could see, tap on grant, and the rooting is now successful. As you could see, let me show you over here as well. Currently, I am running the latest Android 16. If you go to the system option and software updates as well, it's the latest build. And let me go to the about phone section, and in the about phone, this is the about phone as of now. It's the Android version Baklava. Baklava is Android 16 with the latest Google Play system update of 1st December as well. And this is the build number. So guys, we have successfully obtained permanent root using the Boot.img file. Let me now show you how to obtain permanent root using the Apart from that, let me show you one more app to get this job done. So for instance, this is the Termux app. Let me install this app as well, and then let's launch the app. Allow, type in SU, and you should get the Magisk prompt. And as you could see, we have got the Magisk prompt, and it's now working well and good. We have got access to the home directory as well. If you launch the Magisk app and super user, you could see that they have got root as well. So guys, this was the first method of rooting via the Boot.img. Let me now show you how to obtain root using the init boot file. So in case of init boot, you do not have the liberty or the option to do a temporary boot. You have no other choice but to directly flash the file in the init boot partition. You cannot use the fastboot boot command in case of init boot. You will just have to directly flash the file. So please double check that the patch file is working well and good, because there is no going back. There is no option to check using the temporary. So there is no option to check whether the file is working well and good. In case of the Boot.img, you had the option to use the fastboot boot command, but the fastboot boot will not work in case of the init Boot.img method. In case of this file, you will have to directly flash the file. So always keep this point in mind. So let me now show you how this could be done as well. So the Magisk patch init boot file will be flashed on my secondary device. Let me show you. I'm just showing this for the sake of reference. So we are now in the fastboot mode, and over here we have no choice but to directly flash it. So type in fastboot flash init boot, which is the partition name, and now you have to type in the file name, which is the mpib.img. So mpib.img, and the file will now be flashed onto our phone. The flashing is now complete, and now you may type in fastboot reboot, and your phone will now reboot to the OS, which will take just a few more seconds. And once it's in the OS, let's install the Magisk app as well, just to verify and complete the setup process as well. So it's recommended you install the Magisk app earlier, and after that use this command. But if you have first used the command, that is not a cause of concern either. Both of them will work. So with that said, let me first change it to file transfer, and let's transfer a couple of files. Let's say the Magisk app, Termux app, and the root checker app. Let's transfer these files over here, and once that is done, let me access the files app. Continue internal storage. First off, let me install the Magisk app, and you will get the option to update the Magisk. Tap on update because the Magisk has been installed in the backend. It's just in the front end that we need the Magisk app. It's now installed. Tap on open. You will now get a prompt that it requires some additional setup. So tap on OK, and your phone will now automatically boot to the OS in a few seconds. So give it some time, and it's now booting to the OS once again. And with the subsequent reboot, you will have obtained root via Magisk init boot. We'll again verify the same using the root checker app and the Termux app as well. So while the flashing is going on, your phone might take a few extra seconds to boot up. That is completely normal and nothing to worry about. So with that said, let's wait for a few seconds, and then we'll verify the result as well. It should now boot to the OS in a few more seconds, and we are now inside the OS. Let's now launch the Magisk app and have a look at the result. So you in rare cases, you might get one more prompt that your device needs to reflash Magisk to work properly. So again, tap on OK, choose direct install. Let's go, and it will now carry out the task, flash the new Boot.img file, and with this you will now have obtained root. So let's just wait for the phone to boot to the OS, and then I'll show you the result as well. This third pop-up which appeared on our phone only happens if you have flashed Magisk after using this command. If you first install the Magisk app and then flash the file, you might not get the prompt, but still that's not a cause of any concern. Both of the approaches will work. So with that in mind, let's now verify the result. We are now inside the OS. So let's launch the Magisk app now, and we should now have obtained root. As you could see, the root is now successful. Let's verify the same as well. Let me launch the files app and install the couple of apps. The first is the root checker app. Let's install that. Open the app and allow, agree, get started, verify root, and as you could see, we have obtained root. Likewise, if you use the Termux app as well, tap on install and open the app, type on allow, type in SU, hit enter, tap on grant, and as you could see, we have got the Magisk root on this phone as well. If you launch the Magisk app over here and go to the super user tab, you could see that it has obtained root. So guys, these were the two different methods to root any Android 16 phone using the Magisk patch boot and the init boot file. Just remember, if your phone came with Android 12 or older version, then you have to use the patch boot file, the step 7a. On the other hand, if it came with Android 13 or higher version, you have to use the patch init boot file, with the sole exception of the Poco F5 and the Nothing Phone 2. Both of these phones still have to use the Boot.img file for rooting. Apart from that, if you still have any other queries, do let me know in the comment section, and thanks a lot for watching.